Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I have some brand new Halo Infinite gameplay for you. So we are looking at some of the best graphics that I have ever seen. This is the highest graphics we can get in 2020. Okay, let's move on to the real video. Okay, so now that that intro's done, let's get into the real topic of the video. So today I wanted to talk further about Halo Infinite's graphics and just some of the arguments that I've heard bouncing around in the community. And one of them that I just really want to address is this concept that Halo always had a lighthearted tone, and Halo's graphics were always kind of cartoony. And for some reason, everyone always cites Halo 3 when they talk about the graphics being very cartoony and very not realistic. And as you can see in the background right now, what are you talking about when you say that Halo 3's graphics were not realistic? I mean, I remember this in 2007 being one of the best looking games you could get at the time, and for 2007 it was. And I think that's just the problem. Back when Halo was in its heyday, it was one of the most graphically impressive games on the market, at least on the console market. I don't know about PC so much, but then again, I've seen some PC games from that time period, and none of them look even nearly as good as Halo. So, you know, now, the Halo games they come out, Halo 4 didn't look so good. It wasn't horrible, but I remember my first time booting up Halo 4 and saying, this is the graphics? The cutscenes in that game looked pretty good, but the graphics of especially the textures up close, just looked horrible in that game. They looked very muddy, the lighting wasn't the best, but then again, it was a game released at the very end of the Xbox 360's life cycle, so I guess I can kind of let that one slide. But Halo 5 looked worse than Halo 4. Halo 5 was just disgusting. The textures were horrible, the lighting was horrible, the level of detail just wasn't. It wasn't there. And now we're seeing Halo Infinite. Now, I would not say Halo Infinite, like some people are saying Halo Infinite looks worse than Halo 5. I wouldn't go that far. I think it looks better than Halo 5, aside from the texture popping, but that's a whole nother problem. I do not know how they shipped that. I cannot imagine 343 going to Microsoft and saying, hey, we've made this, we're going to ship this for the trailer that everyone's been waiting 5 years for, and then Microsoft giving them the okay. I don't know what happened there, but that was inexcusable. Having texture popping and things like that is just inexcusable. Now, as far as the graphics on the guns that everyone's talking about, you know, how they don't have any scuff on them, they don't really have any detail on them, I completely agree with that. I mean, we look at Halo 3 right now, and Halo 3 has more scuff and scratches on the guns than Halo Infinite did. Halo Reach had even more than that. Halo Reach, the guns, I think, looked the best out of any of the games, aside from Halo 2 Anniversary, but I'm not really talking about the anniversaries here. I'm talking about the main entries, but although, even though, you know what, let's talk about them. The Anniversary Editions looked fantastic. I know Combat Evolved Anniversary was kind of controversial, but I still think it looked fantastic. Even if they did reuse Reach and Halo 3 assets, I think it looked pretty good. Now, the issue with, you know, Halo Infinite is just, it looks very bland, and even the blandness of the guns and things like that, I'm not even that worried about that, per se. What I'm more worried about is, you know, like I put in the intro, the mountain in Minecraft, in my intro, looks very, very close to the mountain showed in the Halo Infinite trailer. You know, that blocky, cube, hexagon design. I understand they probably did that to save on processing power, but what are they doing? That looks terrible. As I said in one of my last videos, when people are comparing your game in 2020 graphically to Minecraft, and your game isn't supposed to be anything like Minecraft, that's a problem. That is a major problem. You don't want that. And the fact that 343 is kind of like poking fun at the whole Brute meme thing, where people are making fun of the Brute with lack of facial animations, you shouldn't be laughing about that. Like, people are literally making fun of your game, saying that it looks like utter shit, and they're laughing like this is a joke to them. It seems like 343 doesn't even take this whole thing seriously, and it's worrying. It really is worrying to me. And as far as, I just want to touch on the art style choices, right? I think Halo Infinite's art style is looking a lot better than Halo 5's, but it's not looking quite the way that I would have wanted it to. And 343 addressed this in a post on Halo Waypoint, and they talk about how this is what the community wanted, and this is based on the feedback, this is what the community wanted, which I know what they're talking about when they say that. I think some people are going to say, well, what are they talking about? This is not what the community wanted, but it is. And allow me to elaborate on that. So, Halo Wars 2's art style got very positive reception. I don't understand why. I've played Halo Wars 2. I like Halo Wars 2. I think it was a solid game. I personally prefer the first Halo Wars, but I think it was a solid game overall. But the art style was meh. It wasn't great. It wasn't nearly as bad as Halo 5's, but it wasn't great. There were some questionable choices like the cliffs and things like that. And, you know, the grass in it kind of looked somewhat little cartoonish, which I said back then. Now, granted, I didn't have a YouTube channel like this back then, but a lot of people did praise Halo Wars 2's art style, and they said that it was great, and it was a return to the classic art style, which it really wasn't. I don't know why people said that, which I'll address in a minute. I want to touch on that in a minute. But Halo Wars 2 didn't sell that well. It didn't maintain a player base. It didn't sell particularly well. Not a lot of Halo fans played it, mainly because it wasn't a mainline entry. It was an RTS, which I love RTS games. I just played Command & Conquer for 3+ hours with a friend last night, so I love RTS games. And I loved Halo Wars 2. But the point is, the Halo community at large did not play Halo Wars 2. They did not like Halo Wars 2. So to base your art style feedback off of feedback that came out of a game that didn't sell well, that was received kind of mixed, I don't think that's a good way to look at it. And another argument I want to address here is the one where people say that Halo always had a lighthearted vibe to it and a very cartoonish, plasticky look to the graphics. And to that I ask, when? When? You can look at the footage right now that I'm playing. Does this look cartoonish to you? Does this look like it was made very stylized? I would argue definitely not. I mean, the graphics aren't as good as certain modern games, but that's because it was released in 2007, and that's another thing. For 2007, these graphics were mind-blowing. They set a new standard for console games. Why has Halo not done that ever since 343 took over? Ever since 343 took over, Halo has consistently looked worse than other games that come out around the same time. When Halo 4 came out, Black Ops 2 looked significantly better than Halo 4. When Halo 5 came out, I don't remember what Call of Duty came out at that point, but the point is, literally every game that came out looked better than Halo 5. I'm trying to think of games that came around Halo 5. You had the Metro Redux, you had Black Ops 3, you had... I mean, Halo 2 Anniversary came out before Halo 5, and that looked significantly better. And I understand that was a remaster of an old game, but... I'm sorry, it just... no. The fact that Halo 5 looked like that, and that Halo Infinite looked the way it did... Halo 4, like I said, is kind of excusable, because it was at the tail end of... in a old system, a system that was already, I think, like 8 years old at the time. So that's understandable, but Halo Infinite is supposed to be coming out on a next-gen system. It can't be looking like this. And the whole, another thing I just wanted to address, this whole notion that the art style of Halo and the tone of Halo has always been lighthearted and cartoony and almost kid-friendly, some people have said. When? Does the Deliver Hope trailer look cartoonish to you from Halo Reach? Or the Believe trailer? I mean, the Believe trailer from Halo 3 was literally made using toys and pieces of plastic. Except the thing is, it was made to look hyper-realistic. The expressions on the soldiers' faces in that trailer were all expressions of fear and, terror and anguish. And it was very, very serious and gritty. And then you look at things like the Halo Landfall trailer was also extremely gritty. You look at even just Halo 3, the gameplay, was this mission with the Flood? Was this cartoonish? Was this lighthearted? Was Cortana mentally falling apart in the level Cortana of Halo 3? Was that a lighthearted level? Even Halo 4, with Cortana completely losing all mental stability, was that lighthearted? No, of course it wasn't. But for one reason or another, I keep hearing this argument that Halo has always kind of been, just not very serious. And it's just, objectively, it's not true. The tone of the games has not been like that, except for really up until Halo 5. And man, I really hope Halo Infinite doesn't have one of those superhero type Avengers, you know, the good guys always win storyline, because Halo 5 kind of had that vibe. Even though the good guys lost in Halo 5, it still had that vibe. It still had, you know, this tone to it where even though Cortana took the Guardians and basically took over the galaxy, everyone was just kind of okay at the end. You know, the superheroes are going to save the day, and it just did not fit well for Halo. I don't even like stories like that in general, never mind in a Halo game. But that's it. Just kind of a bit of a rant video. Just that's really all I got to say about this. If any more news comes out about Halo Infinite, I will definitely upload more content to the channel. I'll be uploading more. Ironically, I probably will upload some more Minecraft stuff. Starbound, Halo, so subscribe if you like that type of thing. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Have a great day. Stay safe as always. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Reclaimer